This is hard.
What was that movie with Adam Sandler? The Zohan.
yeah,
Where he's like, my wife has the perfect ass to tits ratio, or something like that. Was Buffer? Was it Bruce Buffer?
Yeah,
I think that was the guy in that. He's like, she has the perfect ass to tits ratio. It's a good point though.
Well, that was the third question I got at. The work wives questions are hilarious, dude. That was funny. Doing that with them.
Bro, they're a riot.
They asked me what my alter ego name was, and I was like, it'd be Maurice.
Maurice?
Yeah, and then she's like, why? And I was like, some people call me the space cowboy. Some people call me Maurice.
Dude,
and Brittany was like, wow. It was good. It was perfect.
They're both, Brittany and her fiance, future husband soon. She's getting married in May. They're big concert people.
Okay.
So, like, they go to her I keep saying boyfriend, fiance, Alex. His name's Brandon, but we call him Alex because he looks like an Alex. Okay. Or Brendan is his name. And we were, and like, dude's an old soul, loves old school music. They go to concerts all the time. It's always fascinating. Good stories on Mondays and shit like that.
Fuck yeah. Concerts are badass, man. I've been to a lot for Cheyenne Frontier Days. You know what Cheyenne Frontier Days is?
No.
It's the biggest outdoor rodeo in the nation.
Oh, really?
It's 7 days in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Get in the mic.
So it's 7 days in Cheyenne, Wyoming. That's where Lane Frost got killed. That's like kind of what most people would know. If you've seen the movie 8 Seconds, it's a movie about a bull rider, Lane Frost. He's a very, very famous bull rider, very good.
No shit.
He's notoriously known because he got gored in the back at Cheyenne Frontier Days.
Jesus, God in heaven.
And it broke a rib, which punctured a lung and ended up killing him.
So it's called, I feel
so
like
the
an
movie was
asshole
8
for
seconds.
Never seeing it.
That's my favorite movie as a kid. I probably watched it 10 million times. That and Hercules. And we can go into the Hercules thing later. But the 8 seconds, so Cheyenne Frontier Days is a 7-day rodeo. They call it the daddy of them all. It's the biggest outdoor rodeo. There's bigger indoor rodeos in like Houston and Dallas and stuff, but it's the biggest outdoor rodeo in the nation.
Gotcha.
And it's just a monster event. But anyway, so they have the rodeo every day, and then every night they have big concerts. So growing up as a kid, we would always plan to go to at least 2 of the concerts or so. So I've watched Kid Rock like 3 or 4 times there. I've watched George Strait, Eric Church, Kenny Chesney.
Dude, I feel like such an asshole for never hearing of this.
Keith Urban. I've seen them all there, man. So
it's a giant outdoor rodeo.
Oh, dude, it's fucking.
I feel like an idiot for
kick
not knowing
fucking
this.
ass. One of the coolest things ever.
No
it's
shit.
like
how far were you from Wyoming growing up, or from Cheyenne?
So about 2 hours north.
Oh, okay.
I lived where I live was like straight 2 hours north of Cheyenne on the Wyoming-Nebraska border.
Okay.
And just a little tiny podunk nowhere town. 1,500 people, and they probably counted 400 of them lived out of town. They just counted them. So
Bro, that's how Heather, product specialist Heather,
Yeah.
Michigan, same thing. She graduated with like 48 people in her class.
I graduated with 20,
Yeah, dude.
23.
That's what I'm saying. I'm over here like, and right down the road, I went to Kiski, and I think I graduated with 377. So there was like 1,200 kids in the high school. You know,
Yeah, bro, I had like 115 kids in my high
that's
school.
fucking crazy.
Fuck ton of people.
I was gonna say
I went to a new high school. Yeah, it was called Veteran. They just built it. It looked like a fucking college.
No
it
shit.
was fucking humongous, bro. Yeah, dude. It was
Shit,
So was
ton
it
of
the city, near the city?
It was really out in the country, bro. Yeah, it was in a place called Kathleen, Georgia. Super small town, bro. There's really nothing there. Just you see cows and shit, and then the school is right there.
And it was huge.
It was fucking like a college campus, bro.
No shit.
Stadium looked like a freaking, I don't know, fucking cowboy stadium. It's just huge. It was humongous, bro.
Wow.
It was wild, dude.
Well, everybody, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the HWMF Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Feroce. Bob is absent. He is out riding his bike, running and swimming. He's going to Texas. But we have 2 fine-looking gentlemen here that are absolute fucking savages in the Ifbb. We have Keone, the Prodigy Pearson.
Yo, yo, yo.
And we have Martin Fitzwater.
How y'all doing?
Martin the Martian.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't know who they are, everybody, I suggest you go follow them. Shane will put everything in the bio for you to see them. But these 2 here are the young, hungry, badass motherfuckers of the Ifbb. And anybody that doesn't know in bodybuilding in Texas, they both live in Texas now. They train together. We just brought them both onto Axe and Sledge within the past 6 months, and it is I'm humbled to have you guys because as a fan of bodybuilding, you two are the young upcomers that is making bodybuilding exciting right now. Keone is literally a freak of nature. Anybody that hasn't seen you, I mean, it's just whenever they see your physique. You see, so I saw pictures online, obviously. Yeah. Everybody loves, look at Keone, the great video on stage, freak of nature, all this. But seeing you in person is fucking wild.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I don't think I look like my pictures. I think I look better in person.
You do, because yesterday, because I didn't see you guys on Thursday, and Jay said on Thursday when you guys were doing shoulders and posing, or Tuesday, he's like, dude, it's wild. And then when we hit shots yesterday, bro, your waist just disappears.
Yeah.
It's like a cartoon character.
I was told it was getting bigger, but I don't know what people looking at.
No.
It's getting bigger.
Well,
just going by what I shouldn't read comments, but
no,
I hear it all. Oh, his waist is blowing out, or
well, I mean, I think it's of course whenever you are who you are, you're good, you're a professional. People have high expectations. They just want to pick on you.
100%.
It's like me still. Like, okay, so before we get into you, I'm sorry. I could tell a story from yesterday. Keone fucking made a comment and wasn't trying to be a dick, but he was an asshole.
What?
So,
what comment?
So yesterday we're posing. All right, we're posing, and you went, then he went, and then right after he went, I took my shirt off, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna pose too." You know, we got cool pictures. We all train legs, and Keone goes, he's like, "You just miss like your shoulders." You just miss like that dominant shoulder look. And I looked at him and I'm like, and he was dead serious because he's like, he knew
You're not
it.
all sauced up.
Yeah, because he's like, anybody that says Seth is sauced up, he's like, he's not because I can see it in his shoulders.
Yeah.
He's like, you just miss like that dominant shoulder. And I looked at him like, you fucking prick. Yeah, I was like, fuck you, dude. You just called my shoulders out? But the thing was, I'm like, you're right that whenever I look at myself in the mirror, that's the one thing I miss is that dominant, like, because whenever you were posing, I'm like, dude, just your front relaxed thing, your front relaxed shot. I'm like, look at the shape, because whenever I'm telling people like building a physique and like how to make your workout, it's like start at the top at your traps, because you want that fucking round traps and round dominant shoulders. Like if you lack rear delts, if you have an eye, you're gonna see the person lack rear delts from the front. Because you're not pushing your shoulders forward with a big, dominant, round look. You know, that 3D, 4D shit.
Yeah.
And Keone noticed that yesterday with me right away when I took my shirt off.
Hey, your
I'm
shoulders
like,
still look fucking good, bro. But I mean, hey, I just noticed that, like, a lot of bodybuilders, when they stop competing, shoulders is usually, like, the first thing to, like...
Without a doubt, because it's like, I mean, whenever...
That's where your androgen receptors are. So... I'm going to just throw a little science in here.
Here comes fucking...
The pharmacist Marty. So I went to school for pharmacy. We can get into that when we go into me. But there's multiple androgen receptors in your shoulders. So as soon as you get on sauce, that's where it's going to attach to the receptors. So oftentimes that's what blows out first. And this is a good way to tell if someone is natural or not natural.
Oh, really?
So it's not a telltale.
Yeah.
But it's very... easy to spot when you know someone got on gear, because their shoulders will get much rounder, much fuller. So these motherfuckers that are saying that you're sauced up, this is a perfect example of showing that you're not. Because if you were, your delts would blow out, because you have tons of androgen receptors there. We've seen how big and round your delts get, and you have a lot of muscle there. So it really purely comes down to that. Like, your delts will get a lot bigger, rounder, and fuller purely from androgen.
I honestly never heard that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's a real deal. And that's kind of part of the reason they say that injecting into your shoulders can be more beneficial. Is because you're right there with the androgen receptors.
Bro, I haven't hit my shoulders. Like, I take, all the shots I take are in my legs now. Mm-hmm. No more glutes. They were fucking me up. No more shoulders. Really? Yeah, I haven't hit anything. I haven't hit my shoulders, and fuck, it's probably been.
Yeah, I had never hit anything below the waist in like the last 3 years.
So a lot of people have told me, like, Hani was always big on it. He's like, dude, he's like, you need to rotate, and you need to make sure you find out where and how your body functions. He was always big on it, and just because, excuse me, he was just big on. a lot of people have always said he was heavy on like a lot of gear and all this. That dude kept me in the fucking dark of everything. I feel like that dude just made sure I never did anything stupid.
I don't. Well,
he was always.
Also,
like,
you were wild and crazy, so he probably knew that you were gonna cheat. If he let you have more, then maybe you'd be taking way more.
A little heavy on the plunger.
But I don't. I think everybody likes to say good coaches in the industry love lots of gear. That's just a common thing, right? You have a bunch of successful athletes. That's the first thing people want to say. Just like us, they want to say, "Oh, those guys are huge because we're on gear." No. We're huge because we fucking train our ass off. We recover quicker because we're on gear.
I was going to say there's that, like if you look at bodybuilding as a pie chart, like the gear, the PEDs or steroids or all the shit, all the different chemicals that we've take, it's not a huge piece, but if that piece isn't in there, that it's not a complete circle, and you need a complete circle to be a pro bodybuilder.
1000%.
So it's kind of like whenever I look at it or try or just think of it in my head, I'm like, you need a complete circle to be a professional bodybuilder. Not in Keone's case because he turned pro as a natural, which is fucking mind blowing. But like there's a piece of the pie that's not huge. It's like less than a quarter of the pie chart. But if it's not there, you don't have a complete circle.
For sure.
So that's just all the time and how I think of it or in person explain it to people because, dude, you can take as much shit as you want, but if you don't train like we hit legs yesterday, you ain't fucking in it.
No, you have to be perfect in all aspects. The only thing the gear is going to do is it's going to make you be able to recover faster and eat more food. Those are the only two things it's doing for you. Yeah, and that's because you're producing more red blood cells, which is making you need more nutrients, and then you're recovering quicker because those nutrients are being shuttled to the muscle faster.
You guys are really strong too.
So, so that but all those things come into play, like you said. But like, if you're not gifted or you don't don't check every single box, it's not going to matter for you. It doesn't. Gear's not magic. It doesn't do anything that like magical, and we all found that out first cycle.
To be honest, right now, all I want to do is just disagree with him. Well, I just want to be like, no, it is magical because I'm not taking any. I'm not who I used to be.
So, okay,
I'm just fucking.
I know,
you.
But
I do.
I will say that a huge factor of it is just mental.
Well, like I was just saying it because whenever I look at it, like now that I'm like, dude, I was a fucking animal. Yes. I took things just to see what they would do to me. Not so much like, oh, I love it. I just want to see what would happen. I'm an experienced guy. I'm like, hey, dude, cool. Like, what happens when I go from 50 mgs of Anadrol to 100? What happens when I go from 100 to 150? There's no rhyme or reason other than I want to know what it does because if the book says this, I'm going to see if the book's true. And if the book's right, then I'm like, cool. If something different happened to me other than the book, I know for a fucking fact with me that it's different. Yeah. Because whenever they're like, oh, 80% of people have noticed this. Well, what about the other 20%? Right. What did they notice? Right. What was the difference with them? So me, like, I love the science behind everything because that means lots of people took time and effort to make something happen. And me, I just am like, well, what happens when I do it? Right. What side am I on? Right. How's it going to happen? What happens whenever I take a bunch of Tren and Anadrol? What do I turn into mentally?
Fuck Tren.
Keone's like, no way.
I hate Tren.
It's.
I don't even take it.
No, it is. So apparently, like a lot of people love it. Now I understand, I love it too, but a lot of people take a lot of it for long periods of time. I'm like, so this is one of those things that I'm talking about experience. So I'm like, hey, what happens whenever I take 100 milligrams of Trenbolin 3 times a week? Cool, bro. I get big. I'm fucking strong as an ox, dude. My veins are just everywhere. My skin, I'm like, everything looks different. There's a picture of me that I have on my phone. I'm in an orange and white AAR shirt with a cutoff where I am fucking nasty looking. I'm like, that's fucking Trenbolin. That's Seth on Tren. So, but years ago, I was like, all right, so I know what 300 mgs does. What does 700 mgs do? What happens when I take 100 mgs of Tren every single day? Well, I know that after 2 weeks, side effects were so ungodly horrible that I couldn't even function as a human being.
What did you get?
Bro, I would sweat like at nighttime. Yeah. My night sweats were so fucking horrible. Like it was unbearable. I stunk while I slept. I'd wake up and I smelled like I just got done doing an hour of cardio.
Really?
Oh my God, it was horrible. Like you could smell. And again, this is not. There's no pharmaceutical grade Trenbolone.
No.
This is
You're taking cattle drugs.
Yeah,
It's a cattle drug.
Yeah, Finaplex.
Yes.
So, and then I noticed that, and then other than that, like the night terrors, like my dreams were so wild and horrible that I'm like, who the fuck am I? So, but whenever we talk about the side effects and people are like the side effects of Trenbolone, I'm like, well, you have night terrors. Yeah. Well, how do you define a night terror?
I never got night terrors, and I've ran 700 mgs.
And I've done these things, and I'm like, me personally, I'm like, I just want to see what happens. And me at that long for 2 weeks, I'm like, I can't do this. This is not because I capped on the on like the performance side of it.
Yeah.
Like I was like, there's no reason for me to do it because I'm not looking any better from it. So then people would ask, well, why would you do that? And I'm like, because I wanted to find out. I wanted the experience.
See.
So that's why I find bodybuilding so fascinating and
There's no fucking rules.
there's no rules. And whenever people say, like I was joking, whenever people were like, it's all the gear and they give you shit, and it's like, well, you're not doing it. And one thing that we've mentioned here is like, you've said it a few times, like chasing death is always is something that people were excited about. And people in bodybuilding, David Goggins, Cameron Haynes, these type of people, motocross riders, extreme athletes, people that fucking base jump, they're chasing a thrill, and the thrill is insane because it's with your life and you are the one in control of it to a certain extent. But like if you're not pushing limits, nobody wants to fucking like. What's the use of doing it?
Yeah, exactly.
And and as I've stopped all that, I find myself looking for thrilling things, but like they turn into cheap thrills. Like cheap thrills are what fuck your life up. And people that are really into it, like cheap thrills, like as in drugs and alcohol, gambling, things like that. Some people whenever you look at Tiger Woods, like the women thing with Tiger Woods, and then him going to Vegas. Do you guys watch a Tiger Woods documentary?
I heard about it, but I haven't watched it.
Bro, one of the most.
I need to watch it. Is it on Netflix?
Yes. Yeah.
It's on
No.
Netflix,
HBO. I think we watched it on. Hannah and I watched it when we went on vacation last year, and dude,
fascinating.
It melted our minds because I didn't know Tiger Woods was a fucking like robot psychopath.
Oh yeah.
Dude, but the thing is, whenever you're number one in the world, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And all the fucking race barriers that he broke during that time in golf. Like, he had so much weight on his shoulders, so then during that time, he started chasing the cheap thrills, the gambling, the women, all these things that were like I said, they're just cheap thrills. They're not literally winning the Masters.
Like that
dude, think about the adrenaline dump that happens when you win a Masters, right? The dopamine and adrenaline and stuff that you get from that. Like, you're trying to chase that again because that's the best feeling in the world, right? And the only thing that can make you feel like that, even for a short period of time, is things like that.
Well, and I think that's what you were going to say, was the...
what?
It happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, especially like top people in the industries. It just happens.
Yeah. It's almost inevitable to happen. And
it happened to bodybuilders.
Fucking Ronnie love girls.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, looking back, and now, like last year, I was drinking too many times during the week, and I'm like, how did this even fucking occur? Like, I like having a drink on the weekends or on a Thursday with the guys when we have our meetings and we have a bourbon or two, but like it turned into like, well, it's fucking Monday.
Do it every day.
What a fucking wild day it was. And I'm like, and it just occurred, and I'm like, how the fuck does this occur? And it just happens because I believe it's a personality thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And and it's something you can't really measure. Like, there's no science behind it.
Yeah.
So, well, we got off topic for a minute there, gentlemen.
That's okay.
I want to finish. I want to finish introducing you guys. Keone you turned pro when?
17 at Junior USA.
Junior USA, you turned pro. You turned pro in Classic.
Did Classic Physique. That's when Classic came out. Yeah, 16 or 17.
It was the second year, I think, is when I won your car.
Okay, so 16 I started. 17 is when I turned pro. 18 is when I did my pro debut.
Won your pro debut?
It was
You won your pro debut?
No, I got second. Henry, Henry Pierre?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just dropped down from open to classic. Big as fuck. I'm competing like in 100, like 79 pounds. He's probably like 2 something. He's like 6'4", 6'3". Tore my ass up, but I got second in that show. And then did the Arnold Classic, and then the Olympia. That was classic the whole time.
Yeah. So you qualified for the Olympia pretty much every single year that you've competed.
Yes.
And you just made the jump to 212.
Yes.
And
I did the jump to 212 at the end of 2019 and competed in Chicago 2020.
Cool. And your plans this year?
Should I say the plans?
No.
No. I'm not going to say the show. We don't know what we're going to do.
All I know is you weigh what, like probably 5 pounds heavier than me. And whenever we stand next to each other, I'm like, just holy fuck, dude. It is a wild look.
But you're big too, bro.
I'm big, but dude, whenever I stood next to you,
You going with
just like
this freaky condition, man. I wish I had
I'm
that
dieting
graininess.
right now, though. I'm like working at this.
Yeah.
I'm working really hard.
He's 50% vegan.
But
Right
still,
Yeah.
I feel like even if you're not dieting, you still be grainy and
My
hard,
body,
bro.
for me to have abs, it takes a lot of fucking work.
Really?
It takes a ton of work. I hold all my fat right around my waistline, and then it just
Same.
creeps up.
Same.
Saying "fuck you, Coca-Cola Classic."
It's but that's where I hold all my fat.
Yeah.
It's more of a white boy genetic to hold our fat, European genetic to hold our fat on our midsection. Keone usually holds his in his legs, and he's bubbly as hell. But to add to what you're saying, if you haven't seen Keone in person, like I'm the biggest bodybuilding fan in the world. Like Keone will be a Mr. Olympia, I promise, like with all my heart. And this dude is like the most gifted guy on the planet. Like I train with him every day, and I get to train with the next Ronnie Coleman, I promise.
It's wild to watch because that's kind of what I was talking to a couple people last night, and Nick, because he hit me up. He saw the picture, the
Nick
leg picture.
Strength?
No, Trigili.
Oh, Trigili. Okay,
He hit me up,
okay.
and he's and we were texting last night, and he's like, "So what's the story?" I'm like, "What do you want to know?" And he's like,
I always want something juicy.
"Oh, dude, Nick."
I hope you're watching this, Nick.
Nick, the East Coast dickhead.
East Coast dickhead.
He helped me. He's helped me
Jersey
out
boy.
so many times with. Whenever in 2018, whenever I put on more size, that's whenever he and I became closer friends. Like just with the diet, I was like, "Dude, what do you think of this?" And he's like, "You're not eating enough." And we went through it, but I was like, "What do you want to know?" He's like, "Strength. Are they strong? How's their form? Like, what's their what?" He's like,
man.
"Your opinion," because
Yeah.
we're both fans of bodybuilding.
You just gotta know.
I'm critical, and I'm a massive fan of bodybuilding. I'm the same way. I'm like, you've heard me ask. I'm like, what's Brett like? Is he as strong as he actually looks in the videos?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, he's a fucking animal.
He's an animal.
So I was telling him, and I'm like, dude, I was like, it was wild. And I told him the workout, and he's like, I'm gonna stay retired. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, it was wild. But I was telling him, I'm like, you see Keone in person, I was like, it is a sight to be seen. It's literally something. If you're like you said. Whenever people saw Ronnie, whenever you see somebody that's super gifted to that level, you're like, oh, bitch. I think I'm seeing something that's so unique and special that I'm excited to be a part of it. And, it's super cool.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I like you're saying, like I get to see like the fruit ripen, if you will. Like, you know, Ronnie got 16th, Ronnie got 13th, Ronnie got 11th, Ronnie got 9th, and then Ronnie wins the Olympia. Like, you guys are seeing Keone already win shows and be a top guy, but like he hasn't even come close to hitting his stride yet, dude. This guy's a freak, and we just started training together. We just built this like crazy fucking circle that like people don't even understand. Like him and I are like this. We have you behind our back. We have Brian Dobson, who trains us twice a week, which was Ronnie's trainer and the baddest motherfucking dude on the planet. And we have Branch that coaches me. He's looking in on Keone always. He has our back 1,000%, just like you do. And like people really, they don't know what's coming. Like this is so exciting.
Well, that's why it's exciting for me because people you're talking and people we haven't introduced you really. Martin Fitzwater, you turned pro in
2020
with Dougie Flex.
Yes, sir.
At the North Americans. You did 2 shows so far.
Yes, sir. Yes. My pro debut was the Texas Pro.
Yeah.
I got 4th behind Ian, Kuklo, and Phil Kahar. And then
Pretty good competitors.
I shut it down for the year. I wasn't going to do anything. I got my blood work done for like a health check, and my blood work was like perfect like 4 weeks after the show. And I just saw Legion as like, you know what? After the Olympia, a lot of guys are tired. If somebody does show up, it's going to be somebody like Sean Clarita. That's an animal, but I want to stand next to those guys. Even if I don't win, I want to be compared next to them.
Sure.
So, I talked to Keone. I was like, you think this is a good idea? He's like, yeah, man, like, go do your thing. Like, lock in, do it your style. And I was still coaching myself. I coached myself through my pro debut and the Legion. And I got 5th at the Legion. I was in a lot better shape than I was in Texas, but I missed my peak a lot more because I let myself go too flat. I got really into like, I'm gonna be fucking peeled and dry, and I started to go so flat that I started to get watery.
Yep. It
just ruined my look. I ate a burger afterwards and looked fucking insane. And I went to Sergio's house afterwards, and he was like, what the fuck? I think you could have beat Clarita or been second if you'd have looked like that. I'm like, yeah, I know, I fucked up. It's the fuck up fairy. We do that.
The fuck up fairy. It's crazy. As much hype as you both have, people still have to remember that you guys are young.
Right.
And now with social media, things happen so fast.
Yeah.
And with Tragili, Nick Strength and Power, Doucette, more plates, more dates. Not so much them anymore with covering shows, but still Nick and the two Nicks.
Yeah.
It's like they cover things, and it's like things happen. So it's like if you fuck up or screw up at a show or miss a peak or peeled 2 weeks out, and they're like, I haven't seen a picture yet. Then you show up and look like shit. They're like, what happened? You're like, dude, if you miss your peak, you miss your peak. Yep. And it sucks because it's
happens.
12, 16 weeks worth of work, and you're like, God damn.
And it's like fucking 2-3 days, 48 hours, your body just go to shit. Like, it just go to shit.
Yeah.
Completely. Like, I remember after your show, I forgot which show, but you was pretty down about it. I think it was in Texas, bro. I think it was the Legion.
Yeah, I was wrecked.
And you was like in your head, I was like, bro, I know you didn't bring your best that you wanted, but you do realize you placed like 5th against top Olympians in the world at your age. Like, obviously we don't train for, if it's not number 1, but like what you did, bro, for your rookie season, bro, to go against those fucking legends, that's pretty fucking impressive. They've been competing before. They've been fucking Olympians and already on pro stage years before you even turned pro.
So how old are you?
I'm 25. I just turned 25 in January.
25.
So I was 24 when I did my debut.
Nuts.
And it was cool. Like, being backstage was put it into perspective for me. I mean, like, obviously I have people around me saying those things. And open guys are 35 usually, or right in there, so where most of these guys are. Hunter's 29, Brett's 32. Most of these guys are right there, at least over 30. So being backstage and after I placed, and I'm pissed and I'm down. Obviously, I'm still proud of myself, but coaching yourself is really hard, and that was probably the most mentally hard thing for me. Is like, I think I could have done. I know I could have done better if I would have just gave the reins to somebody and let them be from the outside in, because you really need a second eye.
Oh yeah.
But Ian pulled me aside and he's like, dude, I wasn't even a professional yet at your age.
Yeah, dude.
You just got 4th, and we've all been on the Olympia stage.
Sure, and people have to remember, and I mean, you both have to remember, like, everything passes, and people like, I tell this to my kids with gymnastics because, like, they're learning, and it's like, and I didn't learn this whenever I lost to Toronto. I was like, dude, I thought it was the end of the fucking world. And I think
I'm like that.
People thought that, like, I had a better head on my shoulders for the failure than I did. Hani, everybody, they were like, dude, just, you're good. Just come back better. And then I'm like, no, everything's over. And I'm like falling apart. And my home life wasn't great at the time. And I personally fell apart. I started blaming people. Yeah. And I'm like, and at that time, it's like, because whenever I was winning, like, you know everything. It's super easy. And now when I look at it, everything passes. Whether you win or lose, you still have to wake up tomorrow, eat your food, lift your weights, do your shit. And then if you win the show, great. You go to the next show, people have high expectations of you. You lose, you suck again.
Yep.
And then you come back to the next show a month later and fucking kill it. And they're like, fuck yeah, he's back.
He's the best in the world.
And then you lose. And then they're like, he could have did better. And then, but it's not everybody. And I'm generalizing a lot. But that's literally how it happens. So, and there's been so many phenomenal. I mean, we're also talking about professionals. So like Dexter Jackson, he set a standard that like whenever you see Dexter show up consistently, look fucking stellar every time for 30 straight fucking shows.
I don't think he ever been out of shape competing.
That's
they
what I
call
mean.
him the Blade for a reason.
I couldn't find no picture of him out of shape.
And him out of shape is still someone's fucking 125%. You know what I mean? So it's and whenever you have those standards in your head about certain competitors, you're like, fuck, okay. But I think that's why it's fun for as a fan to watch, and why I think a lot of people are critical, because they have high expectations. They're excited, but everybody still has to remember you guys are human beings. We're all human beings, and doing as much cool shit as possible for everybody to be entertained.
For sure. I mean, I think too that like it's good for you to take them on the chin. Like I mean, like me.
Oh, you have to.
I liked losing. Like honestly, like I took it and I ran with it, and like we know I'm a psychopath, so we can talk more about it for the fans that don't know me. But like I took the serial killer mentality to the loss, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking murder whatever I do next, because I'm tired of, like, I don't like losing, especially to guys that I think I could be a better bodybuilder
100%.
than. And I took that mentality completely to the point at which I fucking packed my bags from Colorado and said, fuck this, I'm going to Texas. I'm going to be in an environment that I want to be in. I'm going to create and put every person that I want in my life that I want to be around. I was with a different company. I texted you and said, hey, Seth, I want to be part of this. I want to be part of the people that I want to be a part of, because I know that I can, if I have the right environment, I can be one of the top guys.
You will be. That's why when we train, I don't know if you remember, I think you were squatting. I was like, no more fourth place.
Yeah.
No more fucking fifth place. Like, I always remind them that, because I'm like, you're better than that.
You have
to.
And that's the part of having training partners like you guys, and why it's fun to watch, because people literally watching you guys evolve. And whenever you put that in people's heads, it's supposed to be that way, in my opinion. Like, whenever you're supposed to have that competitive nature alive and always deep down inside of you. I enjoyed it.
Dude, yeah, I mean, like, you got to see it yesterday. It's like I told this guy multiple times, like, you better fucking beat me, since I'm the first person going and I'm setting the mark. If you don't get more reps than me, you're a bitch.
All right, that's why I think we was doing squats or something like, all right, pussy.
Yeah.
You know, like we call each other out, but it's just competition. We're just having fun, but it's what makes us better.
Can't take it personal.
It makes us better, and it's like, I beat you today, you beat me tomorrow. Like, we both have our body parts that we're crazy with, and it's like he fucks me up on rows and I fuck him up on squats, and at the end of the day, we're best fucking friends, dude.
I think that's an athlete mentality. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even high school, college, professional, like, bro, you're supposed to be able to fuck with your buddy.
Yeah.
If you can't fuck with your buddies,
you're not buddies.
You're not buddies.
Fucking buddies.
If I can't call you names and fuck with you about certain things, we're not friends.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I can't call you douchebag or bitch or pussy, and you can't take it, then we ain't friends.
No.
Can't be sensitive, man.
No, that's I love it. It's cool, because like I was saying earlier, people that know bodybuilding, Branch Warren and Johnny Jackson were two people early on in the they started probably early 2000s, mid 2000s, training together. And me as a fan then, because I turned pro in 2009, like, those two were the fucking dynamic duo killing shit. Like, you'd see them training at Metroflex in the Gasp videos. You'd see them they were at Muscle Tech whenever I was there. I'm like, they're the fucking killers. And you guys you're literally in the same fucking gym as them. You're literally hanging out like they did, all this cool shit. So it's wild to see it actually occurring.
New generation.
It's cool, dude.
New generation.
Super cool.
I think we turned pro before them, have we? Or?
Yeah, man. Our journeys are a lot different, man. So, like, that's the cool thing is, like, Branch was like 27 when he turned pro.
That's crazy.
He had hair.
He did have hair. Johnny was actually quite a bit older as well, because Johnny went to the military before bodybuilding. So Johnny's like 4 or 5 years older than Branch even.
Oh, really?
So
he doesn't look old.
No. Black don't crack, bro.
We don't crack, baby. We don't crack.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah. So, and he always says that too. But, no, yeah. So, like, our journey is just starting, man. And, like, if anyone can say anything about it, like, I don't even want to I don't want to say anything about it, but the person that I want to know what he thinks of it is I'd love to hear what Brian thinks, what he thinks of them young and us young, because he trained them the same, and he'd be the person that could give you the best perspective from the outside in. But
Brian Dobson, for anybody that doesn't know, is the owner of Metroflex.
Yep.
He is one of the craziest, wonderful people on the planet. I don't know him well. I've met him a few times, been to the gym a couple times, but I just know that he is, and people need to know, like, about him. They see him, but he trained Ronnie. Yes. He trained Branch. He put, in his gym, it is a fucking massacre. Watching the leg video of YouTube, is it on Gasp's YouTube channel?
Yeah, Gasp.
yeah, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, go watch it. And but who Brian is like you see him and you're like, this motherfucker is crazy.
He's
crazy.
crazy.
The definition of a hardworking motherfucker.
And he's calm too.
He's the most cool, collected dude in the world, and he's a serial killer. Like, do you want to talk about a Michael Myers type of person? He just stands there and just murders us.
Yeah.
And he loves every second of it, and he's so pumped about it. We get done training, and you know, like I was saying, I sit in there and talk with him every day after, because I want to hear stories of Ronnie, and I want to hear stories of Branch, and I get to hear all the crazy shit and the wild shit. But dude, like, there's nobody that loves bodybuilding more than Brian. Like, I thought I thought I was the person that loved bodybuilding most in this whole world, and I'm real fucking close. But dude, nobody loves bodybuilding more than Brian, and he does everything for anyone that he possibly can.
So that's what I wanted to get to, was for as crazy as that guy is, and the people have seen him in all the videos. He's the one slapping Ronnie. He's the one in there. But the things he does for the community, like Big Hunter.
Yep.
Does a lot for the homeless down there.
He does like 4 or 5 homeless outreaches a year. Anytime they come to the gym and they need a meal, he'll pull a deer steak out of the freezer and slap it on the grill for them right there. Like, people don't know enough about this man, and like, he's the definition of like the best human on the planet.
That's why I wanted to say it, because like, hearing what he does and how he operates for people like that, and whenever they see him in videos, or I mean, dude's nuts, but that also has such a good heart.
Yeah.
That it's super cool.
It's not noticed, really.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. No, he has always said, like, I'm just in silence. I don't need the credit for Ronnie. I don't need the credit for Branch. I didn't do anything. Those guys did it. I was just there cheering them on and telling them what to do. Like, you know, and like, he kicks our ass. And like, dude, that I will tell you right now, Ronnie Coleman would not have been Ronnie Coleman without Brian Dobson. Brian Dobson is a crazy motherfucker, and he makes you train harder than you've ever trained in your whole life. And like, I thought I trained hard, and I've trained really, really fucking hard before I trained with Brian, but he's taken me to places that I had to pull demons out of myself that I didn't even know I had.
So, and that's the fun part, is going to be, as you guys progress and go into shows, training with them, and then on the days whenever, you know, you're like, fuck, I just feel like I could do a leg workout, but not as hard.
Yeah.
That's what you're referring to, is just fucking being ignorant with it all. But yeah, I just wanted to give him a little bit of praise, because
he is an amazing human. And
you don't hear about him. You don't hear about him. Mm-mm. Nobody, you know, whenever there's the Ronnie Coleman stuff, people were never like, who's the guy in the back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they
dude, and the craziest thing is, man, is like, Brian did every one of those training sessions. He wasn't just Ronnie's trainer. He trained with Ronnie every day. Like, he did the same shit that Ronnie did. He just didn't have the genetics that Ronnie did. Like, these guys are fucking wild. You guys have seen the parking lot lunges of Ronnie if you're a bodybuilding fan. And, like, they did 365 from the gym to Cooper Street, which, if you don't know, it's about 100 yards to the street and 100 yards back. And fucking Brian got 2 hernias and like tore his meniscus slightly from it, but he kept up with Ronnie. And Ronnie came in the next day and said, I'll never go over 2 plates in the parking lot lunges again. So, like, that's what kind of bad motherfucker this dude is. And most people don't know this, but the reason Brian is as bad as he is, and the way that he trains the way that he does, is when he was a kid, he learned how to train from Tom Platz.
Oh, really?
So when he was like 13, 14 years old, he used to sit outside of the gym and watch Tom train. And one day Tom comes outside and he says, hey, I've seen you out here for about 2 weeks. Get your ass in here. You're going to come train with us. And Brian trained with him the whole time he was growing up in Michigan.
Yeah, but Tom doesn't live too far from here.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, he was at Diamonds all the time.
Platz?
Yeah, Platz. He brought his own
I
squat
would
bar.
love to get a leg workout with him.
Brings his own squat bar. Would have it in his Jeep. He'd walk in the door with it.
Yeah. Ryan told me that my goal is to do 500 for 25 on back squat. He said he thinks that I can. Brian's goal is that he thinks I could have the best legs of all time.
That's fun.
It is.
That's gonna be.
That's a really a wild thing to think, but like we talk about it,
So
and
what do
it's
you
not
think-
something that's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it, and I'm not saying that my legs are even close to Tom's, but that is a goal that we've put in my head.
Here's a question then for both of you. What do you think about? So, like we've said, genetically just insanely gifted, and whenever you put that with hard work, you get what is occurring right now. You get freaks of nature that can have an impact beyond belief in a sport. But what do you think about having incredibly high expectations for yourself, where people, like you just said, best legs of all time, people are like, fuck you, you dipshit,
Yeah.
no way. What do you think about, because most of the time those are things you keep to yourself.
Yeah.
And don't let the public know, and then they find out whenever you do become a big deal later in life. What do you think about having those incredibly high expectations of yourself, that to a dream that is so big that 99% of people are like, you're a fucking idiot, no way.
You know you can do it as long as you stick to it. I mean,
If you don't have those, well, you're never gonna be an elite.
yeah.
That's all it comes down to, is like if you don't have dreams that are bigger than what you can reach,
Yeah.
you're never gonna get outside of your comfort
It's like
zone.
if you want a supplement company, or you tell, I want this crazy, the biggest gym ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a gym in Texas called Alpha Land. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah.
It's fucking huge.
That's what Heather talks about.
Christian, yeah. I'm like, he had a dream. And if you probably would have told some people, they may not would have believed him. Like, okay. And look at it. It happened. So you have to dream like that. If you want to be rich, you want to be a billionaire, okay, you can do it. You have to work for it, but
Yeah.
it can happen. I mean, people just scared.
Branch puts it best. Like, you can set your goals to whatever they want to be, but don't expect that anything is going to come. You have to earn everything. So you say, I'm going to be Mr. Olympia. That's great. But what steps are you taking, and what extremes? Because it's a fucking extreme to be the best at anything in the world. You're going to have to be the most extreme motherfucker at that thing. What extremes are you willing to go to?
Exactly. And I feel like if I want to be a Mr. Olympia, I have to keep training the way I'm training with my genetics.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause that's the only way I can make changes every year. If people see why I make changes every year as far as growth and densities, because of the way I train. It ain't just genetics, but I really fucking train like I don't have genetics.
Sure.
I truly fucking do.
I just saw it.
You know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
some
And
people don't get that. They don't
yeah.
put two and two, you know?
I think it's the reason I ask is I think a lot of people don't understand that, like, whenever you just said, like, that's a goal of yours, people are like, well, you're going to have to go through literally 25 people I just went through in my head that I think have some of the best legs ever. And
Yeah.
in your head, you're like, well, yeah, I'm 25 years old and I'm
Exactly.
fucking here to kill shit.
Exactly.
And those are things that whenever you see other people like Ronnie, like literally an alien.
Yeah.
Like an alien. And if he didn't train the way he was, he wouldn't be the greatest of all time.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you have
Absolutely.
to have that mentality.
No, yeah, it's all about work, man. Like, you can really accomplish anything with a good bit of hard work. Like, that's what it takes. But
So then why do you think that people don't think like that personally? Like, whenever you say these things, everybody just said you're crazy. They think you're nuts. But why do you think most people don't do that for themselves?
They don't have confidence in themselves.
yes, it's scary. You're putting yourself out there, especially if you say it out loud. Like, it is scary, and it's a challenge. Like, most people are scared to be vulnerable. Like, I just put myself out there for, I don't know, 200,000 people to listen to the fact that I said that I want to have the best legs of all time and that I want to have better legs than Tom Platz. Like, we all know what kind of workouts he did.
Yeah.
I have to do that for the next 15, 20 years to be that. But I don't care, because I'm not scared of that. I love that. I get off on the idea of fucking killing myself every day to be in the gym. So if you're not all in on something, I don't think you can have a goal like that, because you have to really love and be passionate about it to be able to say, like, I'm relentlessly going to chase this with everything that I am to be that. Most people don't even like the fucking job they have. let alone be able to say, like, I'm going to be the best in the world at what I do, or I'm going to be, even being a dad, like, it's scary, right? Like, I'm not a dad, right? But, like, I'm an older brother, and, like, I think about it all the time. Like, when I have kids and stuff, like, that is scary. But in my mind, I'm still like, I'm going to be the best fucking dad in the world. I'm going to be better than my dad, even though my dad was fucking awesome. I'm going to be better than my buddy's dad that was the fucking best dad in the world that I thought. Whatever. Like, it doesn't matter because, like, to me, I'm still going to strive every day to be that. I might not be that. Maybe my son decides that his buddy's dad is a better dad than me, but I'm still going to try every day to be that. So, like, you just have to be passionate about it. Like, I love bodybuilding more than anything in the world. And, like, I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it again. I would sell my soul to be Mr. Olympia. And that's fucked up. And most people would think I'm a fucking psychopath for saying that. I am. But it's true because I love bodybuilding that much. And what it means to me to be Mr. Olympia, it would be the epitome of my life.
So I think that there's a handful of people that feel the same way, and that handful is all the people that are striving for it. And it's the people that in our sport, like, you see them. I mean, there's a lot of people right now that are really incredible competitors.
Yeah.
And it's cool because, like, that's what's driving the sport to the next level now.
Bodybuilding will be better than the 90s. Just wait.
I think that, I mean, yeah. No, what you said is, in my opinion, is 100% true. That's why I think a lot of people don't strive for, or that's why a lot of people don't go after big goals and why they criticize people's big goals.
1,000%. And until you fall in love with something like that, I don't think you'll ever truly understand it.
No, I think you're 100% right. I don't think people understand because they don't love something as much as that.
And I think, like I said, like, a lot of people that are parents, I think that's the one thing that can put it in perspective for you.
I agree.
Because that changes every single person I know that's had a child. It changes you completely, right? So it's like, and you become passionate about that. Like, if you don't, you're a fucking piece of shit. So, so you know what I mean? So it's like,
so there's different ways to go about it. Like, I have 3 kids. I honestly never thought, like, when I was 22, before Adeline was conceived, I never thought I was gonna have kids. I was like, I'm gonna be a fucking pro bodybuilder. I'm gonna travel the fucking world. I'm gonna do all this. And then I had a kid, and I'm like, well, that's over. And then I'm like, no, it's not. I'm still gonna go after it. But when you have children, it's like, now when I look at it, and I look at Adeline's 14, Emmy's 8, SJ's he's going to be 2 in a few months, and I look at it and I'm like, my goal is to be the best dad I can be so that these children are better versions of me. And I think that I'm doing pretty good in my life. I have my positive, my pros and my cons, but I want them to take as many pros as possible and make them even better, and then also elaborate on it. So whenever you say that, it's like, well, people are like, man, they got some big shoes to fill. Well, it's like, fuck yeah, they got big shoes to fill. I expect great things to occur from my children because they're going to be part of the community that we're in. Yep. So whenever you go and say you have these big aspirations in life, I think that in my life with my circle, now that with my kids, it's like, yeah, I have big aspirations for them. And that's going to take me teaching them life, because a lot of people don't do those things anymore with kids. But you're right. I think that's a way for people to relate.
Yeah. And it's easy to be judgmental when you don't understand. Like, it's fine. Like, I don't care when people don't understand. I think it's great. Like, we need those kind of people to help drive the world to go around too, you know? So it's like, that's fine. The world needs people that aren't passionate to just go through life and do that. You go ahead and do that. I don't want to be like that. I'm going to chase my dream as hard as I can, because this is what I'm meant to do.
If you're all in 100%, you can make anything happen. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
If you want to be the best parent, you got to go all in, right?
Yeah.
If you don't, you're going to be a half-ass parent.
And you have half-ass kids.
It's going to be fucked up.
Yep.
Just a fucked up family.
Yep. And
we don't want that.
No. So, man, I love it. No, it's
we got kind of deep right there a little
bit. Yeah, the intent. I mean, but bodybuilding is that.
I
know. I am fucking sweating through Joe's new shirt. Joe Reiser, he has real muscle. and it's a he does all the editing he's in Florida now. He works for Raw and Revive. He is awesome guy, bunch of cool shit, but he is a film enthusiast. So me, like, that's the one thing I used to love was movies. Like my brother and I, my brother, you met him yesterday, Jake. He and I obviously grew up together. We went to college together. Jake was a fucking dumbass stoner in high school. like, dude, CD student in high school. We went to college together at party school and didn't really have our shit together. I was always the smart one. I started out as a biochem major, and then I was like, I'm not going to be no scientist. I'm just going to be a meathead. So I went for safety science, and Jake was in exercise science, and he didn't know what the fuck he was going to do. He ended up all of a sudden like finding his way, and now Jake is a doctor, very intelligent doctor. Meanwhile, like some of his teachers from high school, they're like, "You're a doctor.
How the fuck?
How did this happen? I'm taking advice from you. I remember you showing up to school stoned as fuck." But he's incredibly smart, awesome, doesn't have a bad bone in his body, doesn't know how to lie. He can't do a fucking thing wrong, Jake. He's awesome. Such a good dude. But anyway, he and I used to go to the movies together because whenever I was competing, like I'm like, all I want to do is lift weights, eat food, and watch movies.
Yes.
So we would go to that. So Joe, whenever I found out about him, I'm like, this dude is a movie buff. I used to watch everything years ago, but then now life hit me and I don't watch as many. But just seeing all his shit, so he does a lot of different movie themes on his shirts and his company, Real Muscle. And this one, I hit him up probably about a year or so ago, and I'm like, hey, where's the Pulp Fiction shirt at? Yeah. And he's like, I don't have any. I'm like, fuck. So whenever he made it, he's like, hey, he hit me up. He's like, it's coming back. I'm like, send me a handful, bud.
Hell yeah. But I was wearing one of his shirts yesterday.
Yeah.
Have you
shot a video with
I
him
wear
before?
his serial killer shit always.
No, I never shot a video with him.
Yeah, I did a video with him with Blackstone back in 2019 in New York.
Yeah,
he's pretty dope.
He's very good.
He's really, really
He's
good.
a good dude.
He went to college for cinematic photography. Like, he could be a director in LA if he wanted to be. He's that talented.
Yeah.
But he's just a freelancer, and he loves bodybuilding
What's
more than
crazy
anything.
is I may have seen him in passing at a bodybuilding like at the Arnold.
You definitely have.
And I know that, but I've never actually got to sit down and shoot the shit with him.
He's cool as shit.
We message probably every single week. Go back in DMs, but never met the dude in person. Never sat down with him. It's cool because he's down there at Raw and Revive doing cool shit with the team. So it's good to see. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to give him a shout out because it's my favorite Joe Reiser shirt.
That's a badass one too.
I like it. I don't know. I'm going to check out right now. I went and did the questions on the internet.
Real quick. I went to my first hockey game yesterday.
Oh yeah, big Pens fan.
Yeah, I'm a Penguin fan.
Look at you. All right, fucking sitting in Bob's seat, taking over.
Hey. So it was fire, bro.
Oh, bro, it's a blast. I only bust your balls because Bob is a bandwagon fan.
I am too.
So
I am now.
Get the fuck out of here.
Go, what's his Cooper?
Huh?
Cooper?
Crosby.
Oh, my bad, Crosby.
Yeah.
He scored his 500th goal.
Yeah.
I said Cooper. Yeah, Crosby. 500 goals.
So Bob on here, like whenever like a team's hot,
He's like I fucking love him.
He immediately jumps on. He'll buy a jersey of him, and fucking everybody's like, "You're not a real fan."
Yeah, like his Joe Burrow jersey.
Yeah, and we're like, "We know it's a joke, dude.
Yeah.
We're having fun."
Yesterday, or when we were watching the Super Bowl, I'm like, "Nice jersey." He's like, "Oh yeah, big Joe Burrow fan." I'm
big fan because he did it with the Bucks, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're full of shit." And Bob's like, "I'm not a sports buff. I don't know anything about sports." He's like, "I'm just having fun." But no, the Pens games are fun, dude. Yeah. You went to a rivalry. Mm-hmm. I guess you guys saw the intensity of the rivalry last night.
Oh yeah, it was awesome, man.
The whole
it was a great game. Honestly, it wasn't the most like rival game I've seen though. Like usually there's hands thrown. Last night no hands were thrown.
No,
well they tried to, but they stopped it really fast. They did stop it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hockey is a fun sport to watch in person.
It's badass.
Yeah.
Hockey is cool right now in regular season rivalry. You see playoff hockey.
Oh.
Playoff rivalry hockey is wild. Up close, like if you can get seats to a playoff hockey game up close, you will see them fuckers go ham.
Oh yeah,
it is awesome.
Yes, I went and watched the Avs a couple times when they were in the playoffs, and it's insane. Like they're amazing.
I know. I saw you guys get jerseys.
Yeah, man. Bandwagon.
You're in it.
Bandwagon.
I'm pumped. The Pens hockey is massive. We almost lost the Penguins. I think what was it? I think we almost lost him back in the early 2000s before Mario Lemieux came in and bought him. Mario Lemieux is Pittsburgh hockey. Okay. Mario Lemieux was like the rival of Wayne Gretzky back in the day. Yeah. So Mario Lemieux, 66 on the Pens, king shit in Pittsburgh.
He was like MVP of the league like 5 times or three times.
Incredible.
Like
Won Stanley Cups, everything with fucking Mario Lemieux. Well, then I think it was, I can't remember the year, but I think it was somewhere in the 2000s, they were going to move. Pittsburgh Penguins were going to leave. But then Mario Lemieux stepped in and bought them. So not only did he win Stanley Cups, do all this crazy shit, he ended up becoming an owner, saving the fucking city of Pittsburgh and Penguins. Then he drafted Crosby, and then Crosby was like 19 at the time. Yeah. Crosby lived at his house. Stayed at his house for years. Didn't let him take the money and become a fucking degenerate idiot with millions of dollars. He said, no, you're going to live with me. We're going to do this. We're going to build Pittsburgh hockey. So Crosby
won Stanley Cups.
So Crosby came in and changed Pitt. They were awesome. The city of Pittsburgh loves Mario Lemieux.
Oh, well,
he's literally he could do anything here. He could probably kill like a handful of people and everybody'd be like,
no big deal.
No big deal. It's Mario.
But
he had to do it.
That's Pittsburgh sports in general, really. You guys are like psychos about your teams. Like not that's awesome. I love that. Not the Pirates as much, but the Steelers and the Penguins.
The Pirates
fucking love.
The city of Pittsburgh, I'm pretty sure we're the only city in all sports that have black and gold as our colors.
Everything.
Sick.
Pirates, Steelers, and Penguins. All black and gold. The Pirates, listen, you're right. Pittsburgh is a sports town.
Oh, man.
Sports through and through. The Pirates have horrible ownership. The owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates is a complete fucking cunt. Nobody likes him. Everybody loves sports. But the dude, like, he's a businessman.
Yeah.
He looks at the Pirates as a business. He doesn't look at them as a team. Mark Cuban has tried to purchase the Pirates.
Oh, shit.
And because Mark Cuban's from Pittsburgh as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So they're like, no go because
dude, if
it's not the right business deal.
Holy shit.
Well, that's the thing. If you made the Pittsburgh Pirates what he did for the Dallas Mavericks,
holy
dude,
shit,
we would because people buy Pirates shit because it looks cool.
Fucking A.
And people buy it and like whenever we went to the wild card game once in the past like fucking 15 years and it sold out immediately. If we had a cool team.
Oh,
it would be,
that's what I'm saying. You guys are psychos about your sports, dude.
It would be like New York Yankees, fucking Red Sox-esque packing stadiums here in Pittsburgh. We're that crazy with sports.
1,000%.
It's cool.
Hell yeah, I love that shit. I hate the Steelers because I'm a Cowboys fan, but
yeah.
We'll let you. I won't talk too much shit since I'm in Pittsburgh.
They're gonna jump your ass.
People were freaking out because I made that comment about anytime everybody hates the Cowboys.
Oh fuck yeah,
everybody does. So anytime I see the memes about the Cowboys, I'm like, I'm all in. Fuck them. It's fun. Well, cool. I'll jump through here. I put up a question thing on the on Instagram to see if people would
give us
ask some questions. Oh, I got to go through the thing. Learning. Here we go.
Holy shit.
Oh, boy. All right. Let's see. I got some.
Oh, boy.
I got a fucking shitload.
Good. Let's rip them.
All right. All right. Well, this one, the first one I scrolled through and stopped. It said, advice for growing calves.
Don't ask me. Black people are genetically don't have
bro, you got calves, though, in the leg picture we posted.
That was
your calves.
You
got them.
Yeah, I got them, man. I've been.
Do you train calves?
Not really.
No.
I think it just grows with everything else.
My calves are sore from yesterday's leg workout.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I think the hamstrings got them when we were doing the. What the hell is that machine called?
Yeah, fuck that
it's
thing.
I think it's called a reverse Nordic hamstring curl.
Okay.
Or, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. So it's originated by Louis from Westside Barbell.
Yeah.
And it was just purely to isolate hamstrings as much as you possibly can.
Mine is still like numb.
Oh, that machine is fucking nasty.
But yeah, my calves were feeling it from just. We did a fuck ton of volume yesterday.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll go into the calves I don't have like the craziest calves, but I will have the most amazing calves. I'm gonna have flex loose calves, promise.
Okay.
But the key to calves is you have to think about it like this: is you've been walking on your calves since the time you were 2 years old, right? They can take a fucking bashing. So if you expect them to grow, you're gonna have to beat them up more than they've ever been beat up before. So you can train calves almost every day. You're gonna have to be miserably sore, and you're gonna have to battery acid type fucking beat them up for them to grow.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that it's whenever you see like an old man have like striated calves, still he's like in his mid-40s. You're like, bro, look at your calves. And like I'm like, what'd you do? And they're like, well, I've pretty much been running since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
So, and it's like right there, you're like, so you ran every day. Bob's calves are diced.
Nuts.
And it's because he runs fucking 10 miles every goddamn day.
Dude, the most perfect example of this is when you see NFL linemen after they're done and they've weighed 320 pounds for 15 years and they are always like, fuck this, and they go down and they get to like they get to like 225, 240, some shit like that, and their fucking calves are still this fucking big. Is because they got to carry all that weight around.
So do you think that if you were giving somebody a calf workout, would you say like more weight or reps? I say both.
Just volume.
Yeah, I would say just volume, period. But in all shapes and forms of weight, lightweight, heavyweight, medium weight, lots of reps, low reps, heavy reps. Like you have to train calves just like you're gonna train any other body part. Like I don't know why people think that it's
even
like,
more so.
Yeah, right. Harder, but still the same styles. Like people think like you can just do 3 sets of calves and they're gonna grow. Like no, motherfucker, you got to do like top sets. Like you have to do a set where you're going to failure and like you want to fucking throw up from doing a calf set. Like
think of it, just train your calves like you train your biceps.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's a ball, right? It's like the same insertions kind of sort. That's kind of
very true. Yeah, no.
Like just train like you're doing curls. Squeeze that shit. Just keep doing the volume. Your biceps could take a lot of beating.
Yes.
I feel like it could.
Yeah.
So just treat it that way. Hopefully, that
fucking
helps
calves. Do you think? Now here, I'll ask a question. Do you think that like professionals? Because I was like, dude, if you don't have calves, you can't have. If you don't have great genetics, just like some people have flat biceps, like they don't have peaked biceps. Do you think that professionals that have shit calf genetics don't train calves and they just said fuck it and give up on them? Like professionals.
Yeah,
Some
I think
of them.
Professionals.
Absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're just like fuck it.
Not
don't
growing,
even mad.
It's stubborn.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna pick. Yeah, I am. Dexter Jackson's calves sucked and he never trained them.
See, I'm like, I don't know, man. The one time, we were talking about it yesterday. I was like, when Dexter showed up to the one show and his fucking calves were blown out, I'm like, he stuck a ton of shit in them. Because that was back in like early 2000s, I think. Because in early 2000s, there was still a bunch of fucking...
Synthol.
Well, it wasn't synthol because they went right back.
Right.
It was like, I remember there was a hot item. People called it, I can't remember what fucking people called it. And they were just, because they were getting it injected before shows, kind of like Escalin was big back in the day. Because I remember, I think it was Flex and Lavroni talking about it, how they used to inject Escalin. And then the dude that had the Escalin recipe died, and nobody ever saw it again. Because there was only one motherfucker that made Escalin.
Interesting.
Yeah. Another calf question. right above it.
So this is because they saw Keon's calves yesterday.
I know, dude, I'm telling you, it popped right out. I'm like, dude, nobody...
Hey, I'm showing them ankles now.
There's a question. What's it like to train with Branch?
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's an experience. I have trained shoulders with Branch, arms with Branch, and back with Branch. And the only day I didn't want to fucking throw my guts up was arms. And still was a very, very hard session where we both wanted to die because we both trained that with him.
Dude, that fucking sucked.
To put it into perspective, Branch is a fucking Terminator. There's no one in this world that trains harder. Ronnie Coleman has said it in an interview. There's not a harder worker in the gym than Branch Warren. That is true. He never misses. The motherfucker has been training like that since he was 15 years old, and he's a fucking savage. If you take more than 10 seconds to start your set, he's going to yell at you that you're taking too long.
Come on, motherfucker.
I have had Branch rip the stall door open why I was taking a shit in the middle of the training session and tell me I needed to hurry the fuck up because it was my set.
He's putting his anger out on fucking me. Come on, Kim, let's go. Come on.
He is a fucking Terminator. You don't miss. If you were to throw up, you better throw up and get right back into the game.
No bullshit, dude.
No, dude. They're like people talk about Branch and like him being a hard worker and like you train with him and they like die. Like, dude, it's real deal. Like, there's no one in the world that's more hardcore than Branch. I promise you. Like, I think he would have gave Tom a run for his money. I really do. Like, he didn't train at quite that style, but they're both, dude. There's those boys.
So he's on your ass. So whenever it's, because yesterday we were doing rounds. Like you go.
It's actually not even that long of a break usually with him. It's like no breaks, bro.
Like,
no breaks.
Like how long it took you to get in the machine yesterday?
Yeah.
He would have yelled at you. Like when you were fucking with the chest thing?
Yeah, trying to get fucking
No, he would
situated.
have fucking yelled at you. He'd have been like, quit fucking with it. Doesn't fucking matter. Let's go.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. No, Branch, he's insane. Like, he's the baddest dude on the planet. And like I said, he's a Terminator. Like, he just keeps going. Like, you're like, are we going to slow down? Are we done? No, we got 3 more exercises.
But the shit that he tells you when you're working now is like you have no choice but to do it. Like we watched Machiavelli Motivation to get that.
Yeah.
That's like him in person.
Real life.
Just hearing it, man. You
Bro,
know?
he'll be like.
But here's the thing with him. You never, like, there's a bunch of Machiavelli motivation stuff, but you never hear him on there.
You really should, man.
When has he ever?
Yeah, he don't talk.
You don't hear him talk. And whenever you get around him, you realize that Branch Warren is actually, he's an intellectual person. He is very intelligent. He is incredibly hardworking, but he's somebody who has stayed quiet. Yeah. Kind of. He's his. You don't hear his voice ever on those things.
So I guess
because what you just said is what you hear about him. Come on, motherfucker.
I have
like you can repeat that in your head.
Yeah. So I have like 3 things to say about this. One, in the last 5 to 7 years, Branch Warren has become a normaler human to where he can sit down and be in an environment like that.
But
Branch was so one-track minded. He did not care about anything like that. He was never going to sit down and do a podcast. When he was competing, he did not care about any of that. And I mean, Brian Dobson loves Branch more than any person in the world, and he will straight up tell you, like, Branch is a psychopath. That boy needed bodybuilding. He was a psycho. So now...
He's like a real life pit bull.
Yeah. No, straight the fuck up. I've never seen a human more aggressive, probably like just chilling. And like when we train, it's a different level. Like there's an animal inside of there, and it's awesome to see. It's the coolest thing. But so that's one reason why he never really did the interviews and shit. If anyone talked, it was Trish. She took care of everything pretty much. So she's a saint. She's the best woman on the planet. But we're starting a podcast with Gasp, so a lot of people will hear that and get to see more of Branch. But I don't think you'll ever get the true Branch unless you're there in person, because like he's going to find your button and he's going to fucking punch it. Like, he talks shit to me so much when we train. Like, he'll tell me shit. Like, I'm old enough to be your dad. If you don't beat me, you're doing another fucking set, you bitch. Like, just.
I heard it first. I heard it.
I got like he is, man. He'll go for your throat, and I love it. Like, to me, that's fucking bodybuilding.
Most people can't handle that,
and I love it, dude. Like,
most people can't handle
love being talked to like that and be talked down to and like getting my ass kicked, because that's what's gonna make me better, right? And like. The reason Branch is like that is because he fucking, at 15, 16 years old, Ronnie, when he was in his fucking prime and is the murderer that he is like, okay, kid, yeah, you want to come train? Come train. They made Branch puke every single day that they trained for the first almost year that he trained with them. That was their goal, was just to fuck Branch up.
Well, yeah.
And Branch is like, I want to get on stuff. And they told everyone in town, you give Branch anything, we'll fucking kill you. Because they wanted to make sure that he was an animal before all of that. They taught him how to train to the point at which he was a rock mind before he ever did
Well, I remember,
anything.
if you look at him whenever he turned pro, like as an amateur, whenever he was an amateur, it's like, dude, just wild look. Wild look.
Insane.
It's crazy. It's like whenever I think of him, because I remember whenever I did the Pittsburgh in 2009 and won, it's like he was their guest post and huge fan, and it just seeing him, I'm like, this is he looks like the person that you would never thought was a child. Like Branch looks like he was born grown up. Like, you know what I mean? Like that hardcore intensity.
So,
you're like, I can't picture you as a teenager.
Yeah, I've got to see like it now a couple times since I've spent so much time with him. But dude, if you're around him and not very often, like in a setting like this, he's like that. You're like, dude, there's nothing soft in you.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I've hung out with him. We've gone to shows, sat down. Like I was telling you, we went up to Fuwat's show. It was Branch and I, and hanging out, having breakfast, meals, and just a terrific person. And a lot of people don't realize what an intellectual person he is, and how intelligent he is. He's incredibly smart.
Oh, he's a genius.
Yeah, he's a very smart guy. So it's super, super cool to just kind of see everything he's done with Wicked Cuts and all the cool shit that he's doing in his life.
But yeah, training with him, that's a fucking experience and a half.
Sure. Another question for you real quick. People asked about the nasal strip. Whose idea was the nasal strip? Where did it come from?
That's always been my thing.
Why? Where did it come from?
So I actually wore those in high school football a little bit. But when I started to get big, my fiance at the time was a nurse. And I didn't have insurance, so I couldn't go get a CPAP. But she noticed when I wore the nasal strip, when I slept, I wouldn't snore as bad. And I got a lot better sleep because of it. So I started wearing it because of that. And then I would leave it on. And we trained, when I lived in Denver, we trained at like 11 or 12. So I'd just leave it on until we trained. And I noticed that when I had it on training, I have a deviated septum from breaking my nose in high school football. And I noticed when I wear it training that I just had much better performance. I don't have as much of an issue in Texas as I did in Denver. I think I had a little bit more allergies in Denver, so it bothered me a little bit more. But it definitely helps. The hard thing in Texas is I sweat so much I can't keep it on. But it does help, especially for sleep. I do wear it for sleep still every night.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice.
Nasal strips, by the way, are amazing. Incredible. Me and Cody use them because we both have deviated septums.
Yeah. So if you've broke your nose, you should try it. Like personally, I think it's crazy.
Oh, incredible! The second you put it on and it spreads your nostrils,
Get the fuck out of here.
and you take a deep breath in, you're just like, "What the fuck?
Yeah,
I've never known. This is the first time I've ever taken a breath."
Dude,
So anybody that doesn't know Tristan over here, sorry. Tristan is a phenomenal wrestler. High school, college wrestler. His brother Cody, the Bellator fighter, just fucking animals from Johnstown. Savages. Doesn't look like it. I know he kind of looks like a pussy, but
Those the ones that will whoop your ass.
oh,
but
dude,
yeah,
you
there's
see
the
anybody
nasal
with a
strips,
little
man.
bit of cauliflower here, I'm like, nope, nope, I ain't fucking with you at all. I don't want none of it. 145-pound dickhead right there.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I used to be. I'm 160 now.
Oh shit, he's huge now.
Well, I used to
Don't fucking
wrestle
steal his 15
133 in college.
Okay,
So
okay.
that was.
God damn, man.
I know it was a tough cut.
I kind of want to wrestle you now, bro.
That's so wild.
Listen, we brought people in. I want to wrestle people.
I will wrestle you, bro.
I want to wrestle a bodybuilder.
Listen, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to do anything fucking stupid,
I
okay?
ain't getting hurt.
No, we like
He'll
even
put me in a pretzel and tear a
so.
fucking...
Whenever I started this, the whole functional and fuckable thing, I don't call it CrossFit because I don't do CrossFit.
Yeah, fuck
I'll
CrossFit.
never say I'm
That's
a
for
CrossFitter.
pussies.
Yeah, fucking pussies. But so no. Philip Amaris, he does Taekwondo. His dad, Big Phil. I remember. So Big Phil is he's like the first American to grace the cover of Black Belt. He is an absolute fucking Taekwondo master. Like he's known throughout the world, and he's right here in Western PA. His two sons, Jimmy and Phil, they look like just nice gentlemen. Glasses. Look like sweethearts, but they are fucking
Train killer.
killers, dude. Yeah. Like, kick so fucking hard, you're like, dude, never would have guessed it. 165-pound guys that you're just like, oh boy, you boys are a little scary. Well, anyway, Phil helped Cody with his Taekwondo and karate in kickboxing, whenever he decided, he's like, I want to be a MMA fighter. Okay. So I went in there and I'm like, hey, dude, like I needed to do different cardio. This is whenever I just got back from tearing my tricep. I'm like, I need to do something different. Get me away from bodybuilding because I'll just go back to the eating and all this. So he's like, he started teaching me about kettlebell work, started teaching me about different cardio work just to get my heart rate up and then to control it to bring it back down. Played a big role in that. So I go there the one time and Cody showed up too to train. Like he was just taking me one-on-one for an hour each week. Cody shows up and he's like, we're going to work out together. I'm like, dude, no. I'm not fucking with this kid. He's 170 pounds and he's a fucking killer. So we go and work out and we're hitting the pads for like a minute on and then a minute off, 10 rounds. So I'm like, cool, like I could do that. So we go a minute and I'm breathing heavy. This is over a year ago and I'm fucking like dying. So Cody would go then, and then in Cody's off time, he would fucking go and mangle the heavy bag. So for 20 straight minutes, this dude was just throwing fucking hands and kicks nonstop. Hard as fuck. And I'm like, I am not built for this. So now whenever I look at MMA guys, like larger MMA guys,
different breed.
I'm like, you boys, like the fucking middleweights and the light heavyweights, I'm like, you boys are fucking savages.
Dude.
Literally eat me alive.
The
The dude was throwing leg kicks and I'm like, I ain't hanging with it. I can't hang with it.
The people that like don't have an understanding is like Tyson, Mike Tyson. Dude, that guy was a murderer and he would train for 8 hours a day. And dude, like he was 220 pounds or whatever and could do like 1,000 sit-ups in a row. Like these guys are fucking insane. And that really, like they're physical specimens, but their mental is like the most crazy thing on the planet.
So that's why having them around is so much fun and getting to know them, and why I have a profound respect for every single sport. Whenever you're at a top level in any sport, bodybuilding, like you got to go to wild spots to train like that every single day, all day, every day. Same thing with fucking MMA. You have to go to a space whenever you're going, like, dude, you're going to go roll around for a few hours. These dudes, they're literally going to fuck you up in the conditioning, and I find it fascinating. So whenever Cody, I look at him, I'm like, dude, you fight at 145 pounds. I'm 215. I literally have 50 fucking pounds on you. But I know that if I catch one fucking kick to my leg, I might crumble. Done. I catch one kick to my fucking face, I'm out, dude.
Done.
It is, and I'm like, I say it to myself. I don't say it out loud too often. I want to catch one leg kick. I want to fucking feel one.
You want to feel it?
Yeah.
It's fucking awful.
I want to know. So again, I just want to know, because whenever you're watching an MMA fight, aren't you just like, and you see them start kicking away at the legs and the calf kick, you're like, wonder how bad it is, bro. They say, what is it? Like, you catch one gnarly calf kick, they're like, you'll feel it for months.
Well,
months.
That's not crazy, because I always want to get punched by a boxer in my stomach.
Yeah?
Yeah, for real. Like, I want to flex my abs hard as I can. I want them to swing back and hit me. I always wanted to feel that.
Y'all motherfuckers are
What about you, Martin?
Dude, y'all are dumb, because I grew up on a ranch, okay?
Here we go.
We branded cattle my whole life, and I've been kicked by multiple cows. I've been kicked in the quad. I've been kicked in the chest. I've been kicked in the stomach.
Really?
And I have been kicked in the dick. You do not want any fucking part of any of those things. And I know a cow kicks harder than a human can. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you right now, you do not want fucking any part of that. When I got kicked in the quad, I got kicked by a mama cow in the quad. And that motherfucker was black and blue for 6 months.
So that's what they've said whenever you get calf kicked. Like, Cody was like, dude, I got calf kicked 3 times. And he's like, dude, he was hobbling in here. I'm like, bro, is it that bad? And they're like, dude, whenever you get picked apart, it's fucking months before you recover. I'm like, months? He's like, dude, months. So fascinated by it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, before I'm done, I want to catch a calf kick. I'll
just take you to a branding and let you get kicked by a calf. Like, there's a small cow. Like, that's where I've mostly been kicked by, because, you know, that's what you're branding. You're branding the little ones.
Yeah.
And they're like 200 to 300 pounds depending, right? But like when they kick, those motherfuckers are ripping. So they're trying to get away or whatever. So like you're gonna get kicked.
Just ruined my fun. Fuck off.
How do we get on this subject right here, kicking each other?
Like
this is crazy. Let's go.
All right, so you knew this was coming whenever we posted it. You said it, ass or tits. That's like a number one
Really?
question. Yeah, an ass or tits question popped up.
And I have to pick which one.
Yep.
Like I have to.
Yep, got to.
Either one. If I feel like if you don't have either one, your body's unproportioned like a motherfucker. But
You have to have a great ass to tit ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one ratio outweighs the other. Which way you going?
I know. I'll probably say ass, man.
Ass man.
Yeah, you got to be ass because I mean that's what you're sleeping with. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to do the huggy puck. I mean,
yeah, that's what you're hitting. That's what I like.
you're hitting. So
I'm an ass guy
Fuck
all
it.
day long. I don't. If you got like more than a handful of tits, it's just more than I can handle anyway. So it's.
I'm an ass guy. I
Yeah,
am.
Same. Yeah.
All the way.
All the way.
If my girlfriend's listening, I'm a tit man. Just
you
let
can
know.
never go wrong with some nice tits.
no.
though.
Only if my girlfriend's listening. That's all.
I mean, fake titties are cool.
I
love tits, bro.
But there's
They're a
no
good time.
there's no
I
pair
love
of
them,
tits
though.
that's better than a good ass.
But if we talking about you can have both, I just love tits, bro. It's like laying on them and just like,
for fun.
what's up, babe? Just grab them.
Hello.
Just,
Nice to see you today.
like, why not?
I'm very blessed. Hannah has big old natural titties, and she works on her ass. She works hard at it. So I'm a blessed man.
There you go.
Yeah, Shane, fuck you. Got that in there. It says in here.
Perfect.
Here's a good question for you, Keone. How did you start your bodybuilding career? Like, how did you because you're relatively new to it. You turned pro in 17, you said?
Yes.
So, where did you start? Like, how did it come about that you like bodybuilding?
I was training like a bodybuilder in 2016. That's when I was really like training, and I was going to like different old school gyms, and one of those things where people be like, "You should do a show. You should do a show. You would do really good because of my genetics."
So when did you start lifting weights?
Ninth grade when I played football.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was just like powerlifting, snatch. Still like not powerlifting. I'm
Football,
sorry, like
yeah.
snatching. Yeah, football lifts, explosive shit. But I was actually doing bodybuilding after I graduated high school. I graduated. Damn, I'm gonna make you feel old. I graduated in 2014. I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
I love it.
Yeah, but I started really actually lifting like a bodybuilder at the age of like 20. Yeah, so
You
yeah.
started. So that's whenever you were like
That's when I was like really like
bodybuilding, bro
yeah,
split.
Yeah, basically, pretty much. But I was already working out consistently after I graduated high school, and just you got 1,000 people in your ear saying you should do a show, and then that's when I jumped in. It wasn't nothing crazy, a special story.
No.
I just fucking did it.
Yeah,
man.
just
Well, when-
nobody else fucking does that. That's
Well, that's why I was the other day. Yeah, that's what I mean. Oh, yeah. I
It's
started,
no big deal.
2
Just
years of bro split, and all of a
fucking
sudden, I'm like, yeah.
jackass.
Well, people see again. But the
Everybody's
thing is,
different.
whenever people see you in a gym, dude, if I was at a gym, I mean, I train here every day, but if I'm at a gym and I see you there, I'm going to be like, so what do you do? What's up?
Yeah.
You from around here?
Right.
What's the story? Like, it's almost like I'm hitting on you. Like,
Yeah.
where'd you come from? You look
Fun-
pretty good.
what do your mom and dad look
Funny
like?
story.
Yeah, like, where did all this happen?
I'm gonna show you. I was so new to bodybuilding when I turned pro. When Flex Wheeler came up to me and wanted to coach me, I really didn't know too much about Flex Wheeler. I'm not even fucking joking.
my
I didn't
God.
really know too much about him. I had to start researching that motherfucker, and I was like, "Oh my God, he's amazing. He's awesome. He's a
literally-
genetic freak."
Literally the uncrowned,
Yeah.
the only true uncrowned Mr. Olympia.
Yeah,
In my opinion, that's kind of how
Really?
I think that Flex
you don't
Wheeler.
think so?
Really?
I-
I just don't think he's the only. I think
If
Kevin.
you-
I think Kevin deserved one too.
I mean, outside.
I think that Flex should have won more than just one.
He never showed up peeled.
yeah, I understand why he didn't win. I mean, I literally. lived
You're
with
going up
Flex.
against. You're going up against. You're going up against Dorian Yates and Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
If you had to face Dorian Yates and Ronnie Coleman,
They're gonna pick one of them.
you're not beating those two guys. That's the biggest thing. But I think Flex Wheeler is. If you were to like, who's the uncrowned Mr. Olympia? Me
Flex.
personally, I understand Kevin.
I mean, I think they both are. I love both their physiques, and Flex is probably my favorite aesthetically
Yes.
pleasing physique
Yes.
of anyone.
I think-
that's what I would like to be with a mix of branch-esque conditioning.
Well, dude, that's the
But-
thing. Like, it goes back to it goes back to the genetically gifted people.
Yep.
Right.
Like that's why they catch so much shit. That's why he catches so much
Right.
shit from people. They're like,
But I mean,
oh, this, and
that's
it's like, well,
like
dude,
you're
it's
saying, though, it's
learning
like-
your body.
But it's like you're saying, though, is he's the uncrowned champion, but he had to go against Dorian and Ronnie, Well, if he would have got peeled, he would have beat one of them because he's that good. He's
would have
that
won.
gifted, in my opinion.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
he
good
never
point.
got peeled.
Yeah.
And because the reason he didn't get peeled is because he cheated on his diet. And, like, he'll tell you that. Like, Chad has hundreds of stories of him cheating on his diet. It just happened. Some of us can't handle the mental fortitude that it takes to get peeled out of your mind. And what it takes to get there takes years and years of practice. And he had a lot of big things that happened throughout his career that I think kept that from happening. Like, if he could have strung together 10 years of perfect competing, he would have got it done where he would have finally nailed conditioning.
It's a good point.
But you have this car wreck that happens, you get sick, a lot of things happen to him that kept him from being Mr. Olympia. I think he's the most gifted bodybuilder we've ever seen, but Ronnie got to take the most gifted bodybuilder potential and take it to its fullest. Flex
point.
never got to take it to its fullest.
Yeah.
Ronnie actually didn't have no injuries or car accidents either, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like, Ronnie took it and he never missed. Ronnie just put together year after year after year after year.
When I was staying with Flex,
and turned into a freak over time. You know? Flex was a freak from the beginning. So, like, if he could have kept putting the years together like Ronnie did, bro, no one would have beat him. He probably could have won 10. I mean, look at Phil. Phil is the example in my head of what Flex could have done. And I honestly, man, Phil could have won 10 in my opinion. Phil got lazy and had a lot of things happen in his life at the end that had a similar effects. Like, in my opinion,
Flex or Phil, I think Phil the stomach issues
Right,
ended
and
it. I don't
that's what
think that dude is. I mean,
he had lots of surgeries that messed things up, but if he would have listened early on to a few people,
I don't know,
he could
dude.
have avoided it.
But I mean, I don't know, dude. That's tough because I think his injuries, I think his stomach problem is what ended Phil.
The only
not his mentality. That dude's mentality is.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Fucking.
But what I mean is, like, he told me to get my hernia fixed. That's why I went and got the surgery last year, because people told him early on, Phil, go get your hernia fixed now while it's not a big deal. He waited too long, then he had all those surgeries. So he straight up told me, like, hey, I could probably have won more.
Okay.
If
All
I
right.
didn't do this. So, like, he's admitted to me that, like, it wasn't his fault, but if he would have took advice,
redo it,
So,
yeah.
like, that's why I went and got my belly button fixed last year. I was born with a navel hernia, just like Phil, but like he said, it's gonna grow, it's gonna get bigger. Mine was the size of a quarter, not a big deal. They put 3 stitches in it, it's fixed. Phil's was the size of a lacrosse ball by the end of it, and he was tucking it back in and stuff. They had to put mesh in. He had an allergic reaction to the mesh. They had to take the mesh out. He's been cut open multiple times because of that issue. So, like he said, go get it fucking fixed now before it becomes big. So I went and got it done. I'm close to Phil, and I love Phil, and I don't think Phil is a dick like a lot of people do, because he's done some things for me and been a good dude. And I think you'll see Phil come around a lot now that he's out of the things, and we're starting to see more of Phil again.
Yeah.
But, dude, Phil's one of the most gifted humans on the planet.
Dude's a freak.
And I think, like, Flex Wheeler could have been that too.
I think whenever people talk about Phil, like, I just knew Phil from training with Hani. Like, so I trained with Phil a few times. We'd eat together, hang out together, went out and saw Hani together. And people are like, Phil's a prick. And I'm like, you know, being around Phil, any athlete with you guys, like I said, if you don't have a little bit of arrogance to you, like, I don't know if I really want to fuck with you. Because that means you're not striving for greatness in your life. And I think it came across with Phil because he gets super emotional.
Yeah.
He gets emotional easily. But my thing is I'm like, Phil was literally if you're the greatest in the world at something, like literally, if you're the greatest in the world at something, I don't know what that's like. So I don't know how I'd act. I have a hard time criticizing people that are the greatest of all time or the greatest of an era at that time. I can't criticize people for what they did. Like whenever the Tiger documentary,
Dude, if you
the
didn't-
Michael Jordan
If you
documentary.
don't have that mentality, if they didn't have that mentality, they wouldn't have been the greatest in the world. Like, as fucked up as it is, and like, if Tiger Woods didn't have that release of all those women, maybe he wouldn't have been as good of a golfer as he is.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
so that's kind
their
of why
vice, man.
with
Fuck
with
it.
Phil, I'm like, literally, you're the greatest of all time. Can you handle yourself better in certain situations? Well, yeah,
We all can.
we all can at certain times. But
Yeah.
we lose our head at certain times as well. So, no,
I have a good question.
let's go.
This is-
It sounded like it says you sound like Martin is a hockey fan. Sounds like, and then the next one is so is Keone, Penguins fan.
You ready?
Yeah, let's
Who
go.
has the biggest dick in the room?
Well, I like to think of myself as not maybe the most well endowed, but I know my dick is the prettiest.
Yeah, I got a pretty dick, man, because
Shit. Mine's not short, but it sure is. I said mine's not too short, but it sure is skinny. So
Oh, man. That's funny. That's funny. So I make this joke whenever there's the movie. It was Celtic Pride. I was a kid, and Celtic Pride had Dan Aykroyd and Damon Wayans and fucking Daniel Stern. Okay, and they kidnapped Damon Wayans because
Yep.
he played on the Utah
It's
Jazz.
hilarious.
It's a great movie. I watched it as a kid, but they got Damon Wayans really drunk and then kidnapped him. And they were making drinks. I'm, maybe 11, 12, 13, watching this movie over and over. It's on. It's funny. And they were making a drink called Jimmy's Dick. And I'm like, he's like, and it was just a simple
Short and
comment.
stiff.
He's like, we're gonna make this drink's called Jimmy's Dick. It's short, it's fat, but it fills the gap.
Yeah, it fills
And
the
so as I'm growing up as a teenager, I'm like, this might be this is my favorite thing to say.
That's hilarious.
I feel like it suits me. So, yeah,
yeah, I always used to say it doesn't touch the bottom, but it'll sure fuck the sides up.
that's it. Oh, that's funny. Of course, that's the type of people. That's the shit people love to ask. You got anything else over there? I got a ton of fucking off the wall questions.
just weird questions or like.
Anything?
Just throw it out there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fuck it. Let me see. Here's a. Do you ever feel like giving up when you get closer to show day? I never felt that way. Feel like giving up. I actually get hype, but I think my last a few shows I wasn't 100% mentally there, but I didn't feel like I need to give up. So no, I don't think I feel like giving up close to show day.
I turned more into a psychopath as the days get closer.
As it gets
But
closer,
you don't feel like you want to give up like.
No, fuck no. It makes
Yeah.
me like want to like do more. Like if anything, like I want to do too much. Like I need someone to pull the reins back and say like, hey, like get off the cardio machine. Don't train too
That's
much.
the thing. We want to do too much closer because we
So-
feel like we're behind.
So here's what I think that person is referring to. So in life, people, because people have asked, and I'm like, no, it gets more intense. And they're like, you don't miss certain things. Like, I think people have that FOMO, fear of missing out. Like, so what you guys are saying is, and what I've said is I don't like, and when I'm in it, I'm not doing normal people things. I don't care about normal people things.
Fuck normal people.
Like that. So whenever people have a fear of missing out, because people would always ask, do you miss eating those foods?
Fuck no.
Do you feel like you're missing out on life? And I think that's what that is, giving up, not doing it because you want to do normal people things.
Yeah.
You want to go to the movies, you want to eat the barbecue, you want to have the pizza party, you want to eat the snacks at the Super Bowl party. Like,
You're lacking the passion that we talked about in the beginning of this podcast.
This is your decision. This is your choice of doing this.
You can give up anytime you want. You can eat
Yep.
the cheeseburger anytime you want. This is all about discipline and how bad do you want it. So, sure, there might be moments that get tough. There might be moments that get hard. But for me, I never want to give up because I love this so much. Like I said, I would sell my soul for this. But I understand where they're coming from.
yeah.
I get it. For me, I literally in my head feel less and less human as the show gets closer. Like I feel less connected to normal people
are.
than I ever have.
Yes.
When I'm 2-3 weeks out from a show.
Bro, you're on a time
it's like
crunch, bro.
it's not even that. It's like like I'm a different species than them, and it's because you have to go to that place to be in the body fat percentage that we are, to train the way that we do, to be able to handle the things that you're going through. Like, people don't understand how hard this is on your mental state, but when your body fat gets that low, it is wild.
You are,
and the amount of the lack of sleep and all of these things is
all the chemicals.
Yeah. You're taking these drugs. Like, there's a lot that goes into this. So when you are in that and you're in that moment, like you can't relate with regular people.
No.
And that's why this sport is really niche-y, and that's why like bodybuilders love bodybuilding, is because they understand what it takes. I've always said this, bodybuilding is so weird to the normal people.
Oh.
But as soon as you've had a competitor in your life, or you've went to a show and witnessed what kind of fascinating fucking specimens we create,
Yeah.
you will like this sport.
I believe it is the most fascinating. And here in this sport, you have to have a very open mind. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't come into this sport closed-minded. You know what I mean? It's not mainstream because if you come in closed-minded, you're going to be like, you're just going to be not disgusted, but just not understand a single fucking thing. And if you come into it open-minded, you're like, what the fuck is going on
This
here?
is crazy.
This is nuts. And again, that's why it is clicky and niche-y, is because like whenever you come in, you're like, what's happening on the stage right now? What is that? Because if you go to an amateur show, you'll see and somebody stands out, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that fucking guy. You go to a national level amateur show, you're like, oh boy. And then you go to a pro show and you're like,
Lights
oh
out.
my God, this is the wildest thing I've ever
Like,
seen.
Humans actually look like that?
Yeah,
It wasn't just like Photoshop?
And then when you see them up close, like seeing you in person for the first time, I'm like, oh boy, this is special. And for me, I get goosebumps thinking about it. I get these exciting things because I'm like, this is fucking cool. And you have to have a very open mind about bodybuilding.
Right.
Everything, because you're still human beings. But to get to that level, you have to go to places that people can't even fathom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant or Tom Brady, like, you think those guys, when they're getting ready for the Super Bowl or the championship, like, you think they're doing regular people shit?
No, that's people think that though. People think they're doing. They're just like, oh, they had a nice dinner.
Bro, no, they don't. Like, Tom Brady doesn't fucking do anything. The motherfucker won't even eat tomatoes because it causes inflammation. Like, this dude is a robot. Michael Jordan was the same way. Kobe Bryant, motherfucker spent 4 hours in the gym before we even get out of bed. Every day. Like, to be great at something like we talked about, you have to be so passionate that no regular person will ever understand it. And that's fine. I don't want you to understand it because I want to be great. I don't want you to be great. If you understood it, we'd be chasing the same thing, fighting for the same spot.
It's a very good point. Yeah. Awesome. More calf questions.
What's up with these calf questions, bro?
Bro, I'm telling you, the picture yesterday, all three of us had calves.
Who's the most brutal in the gym? We're about the same. There's no more brutal.
Yeah,
We work just as hard.
I would say we both have our body parts, right? So I think your day that you're the most savage is back. And I feel like the day that I'm the most savage in the gym is legs. Like, I don't think I beat you or you beat me, but I feel like when
you connect.
Like when I watch this dude row, like, I'm like, this dude is a fucking psycho. I'm like, God damn, I gotta.
When you do legs,
I gotta try to match it, you know. And that's the same thing. Like, that's my thing. Legs is my thing. Like, I black out and I can just go and go and go and go and go. And then when you tell me, like, okay, just take a couple deep breaths, I was like, fuck yeah, okay, I'll get 10 more now. I just needed a couple breaths. Like, I'll go. But you have to have that crazy mentality. But no, I mean, we're both fucking murderers. Like, that you can't, we wouldn't train together if we didn't have the same psycho mentality together.
Well, and I love it because I see it becoming more prevalent in bodybuilding. Not so much in classic or physique, but I mean, fucking Bumstead still murders it. Those guys
he
still
does. He
murder
trains
it.
his ass off.
Yeah, but when it comes to like like Ian, Brett, you guys. Like you're seeing it. You're starting to see a little bit of crazy come back out because it's good to see.
Well, but that's what it's gonna take to be the top guy now, and everybody's seeing that because it's like, dude, there's so many guys that are all hungry. Like I said, like I don't want you to understand my mentality of me being top person in the world because then we're chasing the same thing, and there's 15 of us right now that are all have that same mentality. Like we'd do anything to be the champion.
There's a. All right, we'll end with this one.
Awesome.
And then we'll wrap it up here. What's your dream car?
I guess I haven't really thought deeply with that.
No,
I haven't.
no. I'm not a huge car guy.
I'm not either.
Bob is a fucking massive car guy. That's probably where
this guy is, so you can probably.
Oh yeah, you're a big car guy.
Probably could tell you.
For sure. My dream car would be a 72 Chevelle with a 454 in it.
Old school.
Oh, bro.
I don't know what the fuck you just said.
I love my Chevelles. I have a 78 Camaro. That's my daily driver. I
Nice.
drive it every single day. It's just got a 305 in it right now. I'll pull that out and put an LS5 in it in the next year. I fucking love cars. I'm a muscle car guy. You can have your fucking Lambos and shit. Take those piece of shits out of here. I can buy fucking 10 of my dream cars for what you pay for a fucking piece of shit McLaren. Keep it. I don't want it. You wreck it and it's gonna fucking peel to pieces. My car is made completely of metal and it's bad as fuck.
They're gonna disappear soon. You're gonna be. You're never
I'm
see.
gonna have a garage full of them by the time I'm done. I'll have a Jay Leno garage someday, man. I love cars. As soon as I get another car, I want to turn the Camaro into a drag car, and that's gonna be my next thrills after bodybuilding, maybe even during bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Drag racing is fucking sick. I've never done it on a drag strip, but in high school we used to fuck off all the time. I had a huge diesel truck in high school, so I had a 7.3 2000 Ford that was lifted 6 inches, 38-inch tires on it.
Best engine ever made.
Big old super swampers. I had it pushing about 700 ponies. It was gross, man. You could put it in 4-wheel drive and stomp on it and fucking roast all 4 of them. Like, we had fun. I wrecked the fuck out of it. Yeah, no. Yeah. So from the time I could walk, my dad's had me on a dirt bike, on a snow machine. So before I got really into training and bodybuilding, every single weekend, if we weren't wrestling or playing football, we were going snow machining. We were dirt biking in the summer. I'm an octane head, man. I'd drink gasoline if I could.
That's crazy as fuck. That's crazy.
No, I grew up my dad's a workaholic. So I just grew up in a wood shop. Never was real big on vehicles. He had a 1994 Ford Bronco Eddie Bauer edition. So
fucking ass.
That was a cool thing that we had. Took
Sick.
it fishing. Then he had a pickup truck that we worked out of it.
Nothing crazy.
Dude, my parents were never big on vehicles. Yeah. So I never really got into them until Bob. And I'd see a cool car. I'm like, man, that's cool looking. I never knew what it was. You knew what a Lambo was because that's a Lamborghini, but never big on specifics or anything like it. My dad wasn't big on muscle cars. He thought they were cool, but never got into them because we were just workaholics. That's all it was. We just went to work every day. 7 days a week. That's my dad. But when I met Bob, massive car guy. Collected Matchbox cars. Now he collects cars as an adult.
That's fucking awesome.
Just loves cars.
They're fucking badass.
So, but yeah, I've learned a lot since I've known Bob, and they're cool. I'm into them, but
I mean,
I don't know. I do not know a whole lot about them.
It's still I wouldn't say it's a cheap thrill because it's expensive as fuck, but it's another one of those adrenaline rushes, right? So
people that are into cars that do the drag strips and things again,
whole nother world.
Dude.
Adrenaline, they're into it. And I have the TRX, it's a fast truck. I just like trucks. Me personally, I could own a truck from every single company, and I'd love it all the same because I'm like, it's just cool shit.
Well, they all make sick.
I just
sick
like,
vehicles.
yeah, dude. I'm like, can I put wood in the back of it? Can I drive through mud with it? Can I drive in the snow with it?
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah,
that's me.
Absolutely. No, I mean, and I get that too. I would say the biggest thing for me is the dirt bikes and the snow machines.
Fuck a dirt bike.
Is what really got me into loving cars because I love that shit. Like I don't do it anymore because of exactly what fucking happened to you.
You're gonna get. It's not if.
No,
you're
it's
fucking
when.
definitely
It's
gonna get
when.
hurt.
I like snow machining is like probably my second favorite thing to do besides bodybuilding.
No shit.
There's nothing like it, man. It's incredible.
I've heard that's what Canadians say. They say they fucking love it.
Feel like you're fucking floating on a cloud.
I've never done it.
It's fucking incredible, man. It's sick. But so I like I said, I like that. That's an adrenaline rush. It all comes the same, and I can't wait to drag race because I think like that will be the sick like epitome of like when I have a 700 horsepower car and I can run a 9-second quarter mile. Like that's gonna be a fucking trip.
The question is, will you be able to fit in the car?
I'll make it fit. I'll just take the fucking passenger seat out.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for coming in. The training session was awesome. Apparently, Dougie's coming in this afternoon to train.
We're going to fuck his new hairdo up. He just got his hair done.
Dude, that hair is
crazy, right?
I had no idea about like the length of time it took to do
You
his
didn't know
hair.
that? Yeah, that's how it is. My best friend was my old training partner, and before we train, he'd be like, "We can't train today. I gotta get my hair done."
Bro, I didn't know.
It takes all day, bro.
All day.
Yeah, you gotta get to wash, take it out, put it in, blah 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 blah, and then gotta get the hairline and the fade. That takes about 40 minutes. Yeah, it's all day.
It's intense. So
All day.
Other than that, everybody, thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow these two. Make sure you follow the journey. It is going to be wild. Keone Pearson and Martin Fitzwater. We'll put all the stuff so you guys see it in the bios and all that stuff. Gentlemen, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for having us, man. Appreciate it.
Fucking A right. Everybody keep being good motherfuckers and have a wonderful day.
Peace.